Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to start off this segment with some sad news. Now, this happened a couple weeks ago, but it definitely touches home for a lot of hockey fans in Canada and abroad. The Columbus Blue Jackets, Johnny Gaudreau, had passed away on August the 29th. Actually, him and his brother Matthew, they were hit by a drunk motorist while riding their bikes. Which is a very sad story.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and yeah, nobody, to pass away from a drunk driver is it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I guess what we'll say in regards to Johnny, he was loved. He went by Johnny Hockey. Born August 13th, 1993. American born, played 11 seasons in the NHL. He was the 104th overall pick to the Calgary Flames in 2011. He won some pretty decent awards, but in 2014 he won the Hobey Baker Award for Best Player in the NCAA for the Player of the Year. Sorry, in his rookie season he made the NHL All-Star Game as well as the NHL All-Rookie Team, as well as he was a finalist for the Calder Memorial Trophy. He was a finalist there. In 2016-17 season, he won the Lady Bring Memorial Trophy as the league's most gentlemanly player. And then for the last 2 seasons, he's been playing with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So his brother Matthew played professional hockey in the AHL and ECHL. So this is obviously a sad time for hockey fans everywhere, for the NHL, for the Calgary Flames community, Columbus Blue Jackets community. So we just definitely want to say thoughts and prayers and our condolences through to all.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, they were going to their sister's wedding the following day. So
Yeah.
imagine the whole family was there to hear the news. Sad news. I guess we should just give them a moment of silence.
Absolutely. All right. So I guess on some less somber news, the NFL season has officially kicked off. Now we were talking about it last week on our last show, and so we actually have results. We'll start off from game one.
I got the hat on if you can't see it. The champs.
Yeah, so the champs stay championing or whatever that is.
You heard?
They played the Baltimore Ravens at home. They won 27-20 in an entertaining game. The game in itself wasn't really the best game, I'll be honest with you, but it came down to the last play, and if the wideout was wearing white shoes as opposed to black shoes, it might have been a touchdown. But Lamar did miss two open players on the play before that. Won't say that. It's still early in the season. What I will say, though, before we get into the game itself, I'm done with rig nights. I am done with. They're way too long. Honestly, especially if you're not rooting for the team that won the chip the year before, let's do me a favor. Like, clip a 3-minute, 30-second video, throw it on YouTube. I'm good. Let me know the ceremonies, whatever. For everyone else, let's just get to the game, man. But the Chiefs chiefed. Mahomes and Kelsey look like superheroes.
Hey, is Kelsey's girl gentrifying him? I seen him at the U.S. Open.
Listen, rebrand.
Full rebrand. Because, I know the White Thugs used to go in the barbershop for his cut. They used to go for the Travis Kelce cut.
Bro. Listen,
it's a rebrand of all rebrands, bro.
It makes sense. You get hooked up with
Taylor Swift,
and now him and his bro got that podcast. They signed for $100 million.
What?
It's So listen, I may rebrand for the same bag too. You did,
because the shorties that he had before her, like
some bad things too, right?
Damn. So for me, it's like, wait, you went from that to Taylor Swift?
Hey, but there's a reason behind that.
But the bag is coming.
There's a reason behind that, right? But I guess back to the game. Like I said, the one thing that stood out to me, I guess, a couple things stat-wise, was the rookie, Xavier Worthy. He had 2 touchdowns in his first game, which is absolute fire. It's a good way to start. Good luck with the tape all over you for the next couple of weeks, because they're not going to let you catch a pass.
Absolutely.
And then Lamar Jackson, like, Lamar's Lamar, two-time NFL MVP, the reigning NFL MVP. For a quarterback to rush for 122 yards, my guy.
That's nuts.
It is crazy.
That's outrageous.
The Ravens O-line did look shaky. Derrick Henry, again, only rushing for 46 yards, where Lamar Jackson ran for 122. Seems a little off considering you just signed him in the offseason, but it is the first game of the season. I wasn't impressed with either team, but we'll see what happens in the next 17 games.
And the Ravens are defense first, so
yeah,
that's crazy.
But it does look like the Chiefs have their number, though, right?
They do.
Like them and every other team in the NFL. It feels like.
How did you feel about Philly versus Green Bay, bro?
The NFL is doing way too much, my guy. Way too much. Listen, I get Mexico. I get going to London. They're close in proximity, but Brazil, like. I bet half the stadium thought that when they heard American football was coming, they thought it was the MLS. Because, listen, subjecting your players to an 11-hour flight, to play on the worst turf I've ever seen in my life is...
What did you expect?
Is an absolute fail on the part of the league. The fact that... Green Bay's quarterback got injured with less than 10 seconds into the game, and Green Bay's season might be over now because of this MCL strain.
Doesn't that feel like the quarterback from the Jets last year?
Yeah, from Aaron Rodgers, who we're talking about a little later. But what grinds my gears, I'll say, is that Toronto is right here. Why are we not playing games back in TO? I know we tried it a decade ago, but hey, I think at least a preseason game in Toronto. What do we talk? We have Vancouver. Vancouver's beautiful.
They don't want that.
You go play a game in Montreal. That's gonna look fly.
We'll get a team out here. CFL will be done. Let's just relax.
Y'all deserve it, man. Y'all deserve it. So I'm hating on the Brazil move. The game was all right. If we're talking about the game itself, Saquon Barkley had 3 touchdowns. The Eagles look good. The Packers, again, like I said, I feel like the season is over with Jordan Love getting injured. But we'll see. I don't know. Jalen Hurts, he looked all right. I think he had 2 turnovers, if I remember correctly. A.J. Brown played well. He had a really good game himself. What did you think about it?
Good game. I didn't even get to watch this full game. I saw an interception. I saw a fumble. Turned it off.
Got better things to do than watch this. Watch this trash right now.
It started off whack.
Yeah.
But I didn't have faith in Green Bay in the first place. I think I picked the Eagles last week anyways.
Yeah, I think you were 2 for 2. If we're taking money line, I don't know if we should do spread, do money line. I think we do a little bit of both. I had the Eagles with you. I also had the Ravens to cover the 3. I think the line moved on me, but either way, they didn't cover it. So, I'm not going to trip. I'll get them next week. But come to Blueprint Radio for your picks, your tips. We got you. Just because it's local, did you see the Bills game at all?
I was on the road, but I definitely watched those highlights.
Yeah.
And I saw my boy, the QB.
Yeah. Josh Allen?
They're saying his team's not that good this year. He'll have to carry them. I don't know, bro. He looked good out there to me.
Yo.
He was slinging that rock.
So here's the thing, bro. So shout out King, shout out Whispers. That a week 1 full NFL little gathering, and one of my mans had that same take. They think that the Bills are going to be okay, and I am not on the side of that. I think their window has officially closed, and I think Stephon Diggs going to the Texans kind of sealed the fate. They've had multiple opportunities in the last 3 or 4 years to get to the Super Bowl, and I think it's in the footy world, as an Arsenal fan, in the era of Man City, I think you're just going up against a generational team, and you just gotta
hold it in.
You got to be the Utah Jazz against the Bulls. It's just you just got to eat it, and it's just the cards just didn't fall, and I think that just might be what happened to the Bills over the last 3-4 years. It's hard, especially in the cap era, to keep quality players. Get them to take less if you're not winning. They're not going to want to do it. It's going to be all about the bag. So I think we enjoyed it while it lasted. Who knows? They're in the AFC East. Miami's looking great right now. Again, right now the score is 0-0 with the game I believe just started against the Niners and the Jets. The Jets, are with Aaron Rodgers behind the helm, are expected to do good. Yeah.
Just throwing up the 3 because I'm 3 for 3 right now. I think this is the game where you bet it against them, and you said the Cardinals were gonna win.
No, I'd never take the Cardinals over against the Bills at home. Never do that. No.
So which game was it that you messed up on?
It was the Ravens. I think I only picked I only did the 2. Okay. I think I only did the Ravens and the Eagles.
All right.
But listen,
so we're just gonna chart it. We're gonna start it. We're gonna chart it.
A board right here next week, and we're gonna show you who win and who lost. All right.
Yo, son.
All right. Yo. I'll get back to my Bet365 days, and we cooking with the stats.
I'm chilling. Let's go. Let's go.
Let me know when, doggy.
Let's go with that.
All right. So tonight, obviously, we got the Niners and Jets. I still got my Niners to win. I'm taking the money line. That 4.5 spread was kind of weird all week, so I'm going to take the Niners to win at home straight up. Who do you got?
I was going with the Niners with you.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of talk about the Jets, but I don't know. I'm still going to go with the Niners.
Yeah, smart guy. I think you learned from last year as well.
I think there's something we needed to talk about. There was an elephant in the room before the Sunday games. Tyreek Hill was arrested on the road, which looked really crazy.
That tape looked
They put him down on the ground. They had the knee in the back. A couple officers around him. I'm pretty sure one of the officers is on desk duty right now as they investigate.
Well, it's full internal investigation right now. Yeah, I saw that before we got in here.
It looked super wild.
Yeah.
He did the handcuff celebration after an 80-yard touchdown.
It's Tyreek, bro. It's game day.
I mean,
he was on the way to the game, bro.
For real, bro. It was a crazy situation. Like, you looking at it, we don't really know what it's about. They said it was speeding, but why would you take him out of the car and throw him to the ground like that? We know the South is crazy.
Yeah.
Miami-Dade is crazy. Dolphins were able to overcome and beat the Jags.
That's a good game. That's an interstate game, so that's always a very tight contest between Jacksonville and Miami, even though they don't play in the same division. But which is weird. But the tape looked yuck.
Sus, bro.
Yeah, but sometimes or a lot of the times they expose themselves in the way that they did it. Now that there's an investigation, that in itself alone. Speaks to me that a couple things weren't handled correctly. A couple things weren't handled correctly.
That didn't look good. I also wanted to speak about America's team.
Okay, all right.
The Cowboys beating the Browns and whipping them. Yeah. Weren't the Browns the best defense in football last year?
They were really good defense. If I remember correctly, I forgot his name. I want to say the coach won Coach of the Year, but because they got to the playoffs and all that. But yeah, listen, shout out my fantasy team. I drafted CeeDee Lamb 1, and I'm doing pretty well right now, so I'll take that at the end of the day. But Dallas is good. Dak got paid week 1 before the game.
$240 for 4 years, crazy.
Get that money. That's going to be the trend towards the end of this show as well. The NFL. Sorry, is the NFL the NHL? We got games on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, playoff Saturdays. I thought these guys could only play once a week. I
know the Bills are playing on Thursday. They just played Sunday. They play on Thursday again. It's getting out of hand. My New Orleans Saints smashed the Panthers, but that ain't nothing to talk about.
Listen.
So you know what I'm saying? Big up to the Detroit Lions because you kept on calling them my team. They beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Nothing to talk about there. Yo, I'm just excited for this season of football, getting back into football, watching these games, and hearing Boomer Esiason give his side of the story.
Yeah, Boomer needs to retire.
You know what I mean?
But I was saying that, I was thinking about that when, that TV money is something crazy right now because you see it in the NBA. We'll get to it, or in the NFL. We'll get to it in the NBA. Listen, hi YouTube. This is why Blueprint's going visual because that's where the bread is at. So
Skyro, aka
get
viral.
used to us. This is where it's at. We getting that money, man. Shaq.
Oh, man.
Shaq.
I don't think these guys are the worst of all time.
This is wild. So first of all,
I don't think they're the worst of all time.
Have you ever heard Woat before?
No.
I've never heard that term until this interview.
No, this is rude. This
the
is
worst of all
disrespectful.
time is mad disrespectful.
And of course, Gilbert Arenas had to be part of that.
Absolutely. So if you guys don't know, Shaq did an interview with his son, Sharif, and obviously Sharif had, the keys to ask his dad whatever he wants.
Of course.
And he went in, and the main thing that stands out about the interview, and I'm pretty sure, obviously, we're clipping up a 5-minute portion of an hour video, so, we're not going to be too hard on it, but what stood out is he said, he was asked who's the worst players of all time, and Shaq went with Rudy Gobert and Ben Simmons. Now, we need to all aspire to be like Shaq.
No, but the reason why he's saying that is because he feels after they got the big money, they didn't prove themselves, which I can appreciate Shaq. But they're not the worst of all time.
Shaq is...
We saw Rafael Arujo on our team. Like, the Raptors drafted some of the most garbage players of all time.
Yeah. No, listen. We have a list, right?
We saw Darko.
Yeah. The thing about Shaq is Shaq has been a household name for 30 years. Shaq can literally say whatever he wants, and he can go on any platform and say whatever he wants whenever he wants. Like, this is top tier elitism if you've ever seen it before.
Facts. He just doesn't like these guys.
Like, Shaq is definitely the main character of this game that we're playing. Like, he's definitely one of those guys. And it's interesting because Shaq, watching his greatness, like, we've all watched Shaq growing up if you've watched basketball for quite a long time. And we respect Shaq, in regards to the way that he respected the game of basketball, how we transitioned to movies, music, and, TV with, Inside the NBA and everything else, all the commercials and all of that. So what really is interesting about me is that how he continues to shit on the sorority that's the NBA. And a lot of people... Fraternity of the NBA. Pause. And a lot of people... Yeah, fraternity, my bad. But in that being said, like, a lot of people think it's just centers. Shaq's just on everybody, which is so weird because he's one of the...
I've seen him go at Spider Mitchell.
Yeah, so it doesn't even make sense to me that...
He wants players to be as dominant as he is, but he's not realizing they didn't have the physical attributes that he does. Some people are not as talented, and I bring it back to the 50 saying, I wasn't as talented, so I had to work hard.
Yeah. Well, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard enough. Right?
Jada Kiss.
So that's that.
That's a fact.
But I feel like now, like, he's picking on Rudy. And Rudy, you want to come tell your story on Blueprint Radio? Swing by my dog.
We got 2 chairs and a mic for you right now.
But like the Rudy hate is wild to me. Like,
bro,
it's crazy
how can you hate on a man that's just getting paid? It's not like he doesn't do what he's supposed to do.
Here's the thing. I don't mind the Ben Simmons take, even though I don't agree with the Ben Simmons take.
I would never.
Right? But the Rudy take it's wild to me. For them to be your worst players of all time and you didn't play with either of them.
But they're not even that bad.
Yo, Rudy Gobert, and here's my thing, and this is like, I don't know if it's a hot take, but my thing with Rudy Gobert, and a lot of people are taking shots, and again, this is always easier from us being Canadians. We see it from the American side of things that they don't often respect foreigners or people that aren't from the U.S.
No, look at how they spoke about what was the team, man? With Luol Deng's team.
Oh yeah, South Sudan. Yeah,
like, that was so disrespectful.
Oh, Gil Arena went off on those guys, right? For no reason. But like, I think with Rudy Gobert and Shaq said this a lot, and even Chuck on Inside the NBA.
Chuck,
in regards to him having the potential, and we see it on the defensive side, and we see it with the rebounding. He has he's 3-time defensive player of the year, 4-time,
exactly,
something like that. So he's an elite talent, one of the best to ever play the game. If that being said, I feel like a lot of people are projecting the fact that his offense isn't nowhere remotely close to his defensive side of things, and I think that's on them, and it's not on Rudy. Like, take it from what you see. That's what he does.
Let's talk about this though. Sometimes how teams are constructed, and how coaches coach, they don't let you get off like how you would get off. You don't get to shine the way you would want to shine. We don't know if Rudy Gobert wants to shoot threes, and because he's a big 7'3" Frenchman, they say, "Yo, go to the post."
Don't even practice that. Yo, you played high school ball. You played some elite level of basketball growing up. We grew up in an era, and I was saying this to the fam yesterday. No lie. I got benched for taking a three. And I hit the three too. I hit it in high school, and I got benched for the rest of the first half because it just wasn't a thing that we did. Like, we didn't practice it. We didn't work on it. We ran no plays to run a three back in the day. So, like, it's just one of those things.
I'll talk about
a lot of those coaches, are older, and they come from that world. Like, I can imagine being a coach that played in the 90s or in the early 2000s, and all the analytics are like, either dunk it or shoot a three. That's the best shot. And you're just like, yo, what kind of game are we playing now? Sorry, I'll let you cook.
Man, growing up where I grew up, I felt like I was stifled offensively.
Oh, man, crazy.
I had a crazy handle, had a lot of basketball IQ. Whoever wants to talk about it could talk about it, but I know what I could have did. And
talk to them.
I didn't get to do what I wanted to do because of coaches wanting to run Princeton-like offenses.
Been there, fam.
Not really letting you shine. I remember a coach not putting me on the right team and then making me practice with his team for the rest of the year. I should have been playing senior, and then he made me practice with the seniors because the guards weren't saying nothing.
Nothing, right?
So they could come at me, but they know what it was.
But we can also talk to coaches' egos too, right? Because
for sure.
That's like in the NBA, they get checked because unless you're Phil or Pop or or Larry Brown or whoever the case is, right?
Bro.
But in college, like, the coach is the rock star,
is the man.
Yeah, right. So
the program and the coach is it.
How many players do you think were the man in their city, in their town, can do everything on the basketball court, and then goes to a collegiate school and they're told to play D and run to the corner and shoot threes? Like, that probably happens a lot more than you think, right? So it's it's just one of those things that I feel like Rudy has been getting a bad. He's been getting picked on. I'll say that. But keep cooking, bro. Like, keep playing. Don't worry about no one else. Life isn't easy. Basketball isn't easy.
Bro, to your point, like, think about like a Michael Beasley.
Yeah,
who we know is
he's
it
coming out of Kansas.
He's it. Left-handed, could do all the stuff. Like, was KD's right? Like,
yeah.
Come on, man. Are you saying he couldn't ball, or the system didn't fit him?
Well, again, basketball. Again, I love this topic because basketball is one of those sports, real talk, where you're drafted determines literally your career.
Everything.
Because if you're drafted to a team with a bad coach or a bad GM or a bad organization, and they're not in development mode, then that stifles you. And if you're one of those people that are like, yo, listen, you can look around and see that you're not going to get the play or you're not going to get the time or whatever, and then you start to get naturally a negative energy, that word goes around to other coaches in the league, and now your growth is stunted, right?
That's a fact.
It's tough. It's tough I think the toughest sports are the NBA and the NFL when it comes to where you're originally drafted to,
and matters a whole lot.
And then trying to make a change after that.
Once you're labeled, and it's crazy for you. Like, I don't think Anthony Bennett was that bad. I just think he just was in the wrong situation. Bro, he shouldn't have been the number one pick. He
shouldn't have been the number. It was a bad year.
And
in any other year, he goes maybe 10, maybe late lottery.
Yeah,
maybe late lottery.
Bro.
So,
but like, once that expectation is placed on you, Kwame Brown,
it's tough.
It's done.
It's tough.
You have a year to prove it.
Like,
and they don't even really give you a year. You just got 10 games.
But here's the thing, though. Like, how do you go from being the number one pick of all to all of a sudden 2 years down the road,
now you're dirt. You don't even know how to. You can't even do a left-handed layup.
So everyone's wrong. Everybody was wrong on draft night. Like, stop it. Anyways,
all right, man. Canadian legend.
Yeah, speaking about TV money, because again, this is we're moving the direction we're trying to move to, so we're manifesting it.
TV money, baby.
Big shout out to Kitchener. Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets agreed to a 4-year, $208 million contract extension.
Jamal, come on the show, son.
That's at 52 mil a year. Get that bread, my
He's
guy.
worth it, though.
Yo, Shadow Kitchen.
He got a championship.
Oh yeah, yo, he's definitely gonna get that.
I remember watching him at Orangeville Prep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he was nasty back then.
That was the first prep school out here, and he was
Yeah,
like, I think
he
he's
was
an
nasty.
inaugural class, like first out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, shout out Kitchener, Waterloo area. Shout out Laurier. Some great times out there, you dig. And we'll also shout out Steph, who re-upped. And he's making 60 mil. He re-upped last week. We didn't get to it, but he's at 60 mil for his next contract. So Roses. So I don't know. Again, like what side is my good side? I feel like the left side with my moles kind of shows like, you know, like
I just been putting stuff in my beard.
Yeah, the right side I think comes off as playful and heartwarming. So I'll work on that. I'll see which angle's the best.
Maybe we'll flip that.
You dig?